Hey, this is Jen again, and I'll be reading two stories from the subreddit Let's Not Meet. This first story was submitted by Rosa Parks the Bus. I'm a 22-year-old man, and this happened around 10 years ago, when I was about 12 to 13. I was raised by my single mother, and we were living at my grandmother's house in northern New Mexico at the time this happened to me. My mom worked a lot, and my grandma was usually living it up in her 70s by going to the casino near our house, so I was usually home alone. I was a mostly trustworthy kid and could cook for and take care of myself, so it wasn't really a big deal that I was home alone when this happened. One day, while no one else was home, I was in the kitchen making noodles and getting ready to watch some TV. It was mid-afternoon, and the rain clouds were getting very dark, like when it's about to pour for a long time. The phone started ringing, and I let it go to voicemail, as the caller ID was blocked and the only people I need to get a hold of were on my cell. A few minutes later, the phone rang again, and I let it go to voicemail once more. After two more calls, I answered the phone, and at first I didn't hear anyone on the other end. I figured it was my friends pranking me, because I just heard heavy breathing. When I asked who it was, I heard an older Hispanic man. Only way I can describe the accent, not heavy enough to be Mexican, but definitely not a white man. He was still breathing heavy. When he said something so disgusting to me, I didn't know what to do. "Hey," he said my name. "I wish you were here to service my cock," and things of that nature. He went on to explain how if I didn't give him what he wanted, he'd do terrible things to me and my mom. Then I figured out why he was breathing so heavily. He was jacking himself off while he was talking. Naturally, this freaked me out, but he kept telling me dirty things and kept asking if I was alone, if my mom was there, he knew her name, and if I'd like to come over and take my virginity. I felt sick and embarrassed that this guy knew so much about me and my family. After 2 minutes of this guy harassing me, I hung up and put my jacket on. I just freaked out and went somewhere I could be in public. I didn't know if this guy was near my house or what, but I didn't want to be alone after that call. I walked to the nearby dollar store and called my mom from my cell phone, asking when her shift would be over. I waited there for about an hour before going back home to my grandma cooking dinner. I didn't tell her or my mom what happened. In fact, this is the first time I ever told anyone. Looking back with what I know now, I figured out exactly who it was that called me that afternoon. It was my mom's friend's ex-husband, who tried to get me home alone with him before. The voice matches in my memory, and would explain how he knew so much about me and my family. I've never heard from him after that, but did see him at a grocery store once. The pervert walked up to me while my mom was across the store. Naturally, I walked away and quickly found her before the man could do anything. We moved after that, and luckily nothing gross ever happened to me. But I can't help but wonder what exactly this man had planned for me, if I ever had been his victim. Last I heard, he died poor and from alcoholism. Would-be pedophile rapist? I'm glad that we will never meet again. The second story is submitted by Estrella Meres. I'm new to Reddit, and I apologize in advance for any mistakes. I would firstly like to say that this happened during a very difficult time in my life, so please try to keep an open mind. I was 23 years old at the time, and had just quit my shitty job. My rent was due the next week, and I had bills to pay, and not enough time to come up with the money. I was sitting in bed one night, and was smoking the last bit of weed I had, when I realized I had no food, no petrol in my car, no nothing, and panic set in, so I made the decision to get myself dolled up and go into the local strip joint to ask for work. I'm a pretty attractive girl, so I had no trouble securing a job. Not that I was proud of it, but at least I'd be able to feed myself and pay my bills. I had been working at Porky's for about 3 weeks when I met Dave. He was attractive and appeared to take interest in me straight away, but I treated him no different than any other client and pretended to be interested in the small talk in order to get paid. After that, Dave would show up on a regular basis and always ask for me, so the other girls started to refer to him as my regular and encouraged me to keep him interested, as this is a good thing. One particular shift, Dave came in with a beautiful diamond necklace he had bought for me, and as much as I loved the necklace and didn't want to seem rude, something inside me told me not to accept this gift. He was upset about it, so I spent the next few hours focusing my attention on him and reassuring him that I wanted to keep him as a client, but how that was too nice of a gift for now, since we were just getting to know each other. He seemed to understand and left when the club closed. I didn't see Dave for a while after that, until late one night after my shift at a club. I pulled into a petrol station to fill up my car when I noticed a sketchy figure hanging around the entrance of the store. As I'm walking past, a hand grabs me, and I turn around and notice it's Dave. Dave, what are you doing here? I saw you pull in and wanted to say hi. Oh, okay. Well, it's pretty late, and I've got to get some rest, but hope to see you around. I have planned a surprise for us. Huh? Excuse me? And before I could say or do anything, I was being dragged into Dave's pickup truck. He grabbed me with such force that my bag hit the ground, so I had no phone or anything on me. He got me in the passenger seat, and I was trying to tie my wrists together when I realized that he was going to hurt me, so I panicked. I kicked him in the legs multiple times, so I was screaming my lungs out. I was screaming for what felt like half an hour, while struggling with him when Dave punched me in the face. I got so angry at this that I started to scream even louder, and was fighting for my life when the service clerk finally came out to see what all the fuss was about, and Dave backed up enough so I could kick my way out of the car. He ran to the driver's seat and drove off in a rush. After that night, I quit my job, moved houses, and got a new car. But I hear that Dave still goes into the club asking about me. So, Dave, if you're reading this, let's not ever meet again.